Hello again, welcome back to another development log. I honestly, I'm really sorry for not being able to get anything out for 2 weeks. I'd been like sick for like a week and a half, and with all the other stuff going on, I barely had time to get what I needed to get done, and then recover from being sick. Normally that sort of thing lasts for like 2 or 3 days. A week and a half is nearly unheard of, but I guess what could be done. So I'm really sorry about that. I didn't have time to sit down and do anything on this, so like, it may have been a 3-week gap or 2-week gap, but it really is only like, at most 1 week's worth of stuff. Probably not even that much, but there's way too much going on this year. Come like slightly over a month from now, I think I will have a lot more time, so I should actually be able to push out updates that are meaningful. Although this one still has something. So, in little bits of spare time, I've still been theory crafting how I want the AI to work. I know, it's probably, like, annoying to just hear, oh, another week of AI, but this topic is, certainly something I want done well. I will say it's coming along as compared to those things from the previous game that I showed off, like, it has to have been over a year ago now. Yeah, they're the enemies that just walked up to you and got in your face, but like only knew how to track in a straight line. Then again, these only track in a straight line, but swerving is a pain. I'll probably deal with that at a later point. That is a little bit less important. But anyway, I've been working with the blocking. It's not fully complete, but I decided to scrap the locked-in block and then use the attack actions as block actions. The normal block functions fine. There is a new one, though. I've also been fiddling with this setup. Oop. If you'll notice, it's a dodge backward. Right now it's weighted really heavily, so like it will happen often. And there's some weird backwards turning thing. I think it just has to deal with, like, if they start turning when they begin the backwards animation, they continue it throughout. So I'll be looking into that. I think it's... one moment. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. Whoops. I believe when they start moving backwards, if there's a slight turn to it, they continue turning. I think it's mostly just how they move backward. Like, they move forward by tracing a point, but they move backwards by tracing a line from where they are. So if they're turning when they're tracing that line, they just continue to turn. I think it has to do with setting the position, the tracking really close to them. Also, the red one has a lot more health. That was just a test. It works, having varying health. The damage block, like the damage blocking, does not actually influence anything right now. So the block animation should still cause the full damage to be dealt. Or maybe it won't because of the block timer, but I will fix that. It's intended to be a cone. So like, damage is resisted in a cone. Ooh, yeah, that was expected. Let's see how much health the red one had left, just for no reason. 500. So it takes about 500 health to deal with 4 of them that have 50. I guess that would make sense. So yeah, I didn't add much else to the game this week. I have been thinking out how I want other features to be done, though. One of the things I've been fiddling with recently have been weapons. I will go pull those up now. So the first I was working with was a spear. I'm not really sure I like how this came out. This was just fiddling with models, or fiddling with the shapes until something happened. It looks a bit flimsy and it's a bit thin, but like a bit wide. I don't know. I can't really say I like the aesthetic. What do you all think of this? If it seems like it's actually reasonable and maybe just me who dislikes it, I might work this in. Otherwise, it might function as an early placeholder for a weapon, but nah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't really know if I want to go through the effort of texturing it if it's not going to be used at all. So for now, it's just this blank shape. So let me know what you think of this one. I'll go pull up the other one. I must admit I like this one a lot better. If you'll notice, they're both spears. But, what the heck happened to that camera? If you'll notice, they're both spears, but that's mostly because I want spears to be the next weapon category. Just for the sake of having something that's a bit closer range, the swords, and something longer range, the spears. So I guess this one is something along the lines of like a leaf-bladed spear with some ornate tip. I like this one a little bit better. Looks a bit more realistic. It's kind of long though, although I feel like that might be normal. I don't know. So I guess let me know what you think of this one too, although I do plan on adding this one. Maybe not until I finish the AI, which is still probably going to be about another month at least, but after that, I'll be moving back to the multiplayer, and when I do that, I need to add in more items. So I guess one of the last things to cover is one of the directions I want to take this game. As with any RPG, obviously there are going to be bosses. I don't want them to just be something generic, like walk into the room, take out a weapon, kill the boss, and it's just a tougher version of a normal enemy. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to feel unique. I want each one of them to have thought put into them. As such, I do not think that that means there will be many of them. Probably a very select few, especially in the beginning, as they'll take a lot of time to model, animate, come up with all the features to the boss itself, and then implement the new system that I've been considering. With each boss, there will likely be 4 possible outcomes. There are 2 ways to take down the boss. You can either brute force, or use brute force and take them down through a lot of combat. Or you can complete a puzzle to take them down. I mean, still with some combat, but less so. One's more strategic in the sense that you have to figure out how to take something tough down through damage. The other one, you have to manage the boss attacking you while completing a puzzle and still keeping it at bay. Upon defeating the boss, you'll then have 2 more options. Kill them or spare them. I haven't quite figured out if this is going to tie into the story, as in sparing a boss will influence the way the story goes directly by changing future events, or if it will simply change some hidden personality of the character you're playing, which will influence choices you can make down the line. Essentially still affecting the story, but not affecting it as directly. I haven't quite decided on that detail. I haven't quite decided on the difference between completing the fight via combat or the puzzle. I'm still ironing out a lot of the details of this, but I was thinking about it the other day and was wondering, how could I make boss fights unique? And I think I want to go with something like this. So, yeah, I don't think I have much else to say this week. Again, I apologize for the massive delay. While I'm actually aware of it, next week I have an exam around the time I like to get these things out. And due to prepping and a large amount of other work I have to get done this week, I probably won't be able to do anything in advance. So I guess next week, expect something either late night Friday or potentially Saturday night. That'll probably be one of those sessions where I sit down and record and comment on making some feature. Not sure what the feature will be yet. I'll have to think that out over the next week, but I should be a bit more prepared for that one, although it will come later than usual. I only intend to do this when I get really busy and don't have the opportunity to get this done any sooner. So, thanks for watching. I hope you understand why this was so late. Again, I apologize for that. So, yeah, I'll hope to see you again next week with more AI advancements.